It was 8:30 in the morning when Ben and I arrived back at Tampa Harbor. The sky was clear, the ocean was calm, and the rising Florida sun painted the water in shades of gold and silver. On the surface, it looked like the perfect day for fishing, but we both knew that tarpon fishing had a way of turning hope into heartbreak within seconds. Still, we had unfinished business. We had come here for one reason and one reason only: to catch the giant silver kings that haunted these waters. This trip felt different from the start. We had upgraded all of our tackle, replacing everything with heavy 60-pound braided line. We didn't want equipment failure to be the reason we lost another giant fish. Every knot had been tied carefully. Every drag setting had been checked twice. We were ready for war. The first hour passed slowly, then the second. Tarpon rolled on the surface all around us, teasing us with flashes of silver. We could see them. We knew they were there, yet they completely ignored our baits. The excitement that filled the boat at sunrise slowly turned into frustration. The heat became stronger with every passing minute, and the confidence we started the day with began to fade. At one point, I found myself staring across the water, wondering if today would end just like so many other fishing trips. Endless waiting, endless casting. Nothing to show for it. Then everything changed in an instant. Just as we were preparing to move to another location, Ben's rod suddenly folded over. The reel screamed as line ripped off the spool at an unbelievable speed. "Fish on." The shout instantly brought everyone to life. Before we could even react, the water exploded. A giant tarpon launched itself high into the air, twisting violently beneath the bright morning sun. Its silver scales flashed like mirrors. For a moment, it looked less like a fish and more like a dragon soaring above the ocean. My heart nearly stopped. This was the fish we had been waiting for. The tarpon crashed back into the water with a thunderous splash before launching itself into the air again. Every jump was bigger than the last. Every violent headshake threatened to throw the hook free. Ben stayed focused, lowering the rod tip each time. The fish jumped to reduce pressure and keep the hook in place. Everything looked perfect. Everything felt perfect, but tarpon are famous for breaking hearts. After several minutes of chaos, the line suddenly went slack. The fish was gone. Nobody spoke. The hook was still there. The line was still intact, yet somehow the giant tarpon had escaped. Heavy silence settled over the boat. That first loss hurt, not because we had failed, but because we had come so close. Still, there was nothing we could do except keep fishing. The hours continued to pass beneath the relentless Florida sun. Sweat soaked our shirts. The excitement of the morning had been replaced by determination. Then suddenly another reel screamed. This strike was even more violent. The fish exploded away from the boat, peeling line off the reel faster than anything we had seen all day. Seconds later, it erupted from the water. Everyone immediately knew this fish was enormous. Ben leaned back and locked into battle. The tarpon wasn't just fighting, it was trying to destroy us. 10 minutes passed, then 20. The fish never slowed down. Every time we thought it was getting tired, it found another burst of power and charged away from the boat. It jumped repeatedly, filling the air with explosions of water and silver scales. The fish seemed unstoppable. Eventually, we managed to get it closer. For the first time, we could see its full body beneath the surface. It was massive, easily the biggest tarpon we had hooked all day. The excitement on the boat was impossible to describe. Victory felt close, too close. Then, disaster struck. A sharp snapping sound echoed through the air. The leader had been worn down by the razor-sharp mouth plates inside the tarpon's jaw. After everything we had endured, the line finally gave up. The fish disappeared into the depths, gone just like that. Ben stood frozen, staring into the water. No words, no reaction, just disbelief. We had lost another giant. At that moment, it felt like the ocean was mocking us. Every time we got close, something went wrong. The heat continued to rise, our energy continued to drop, and our confidence slowly began slipping away. But the story wasn't over yet, not even close. A little later, another rod doubled over. The reel erupted into a scream louder than anything we had heard all day. Line disappeared from the spool at incredible speed, then a giant silver body exploded from the ocean. This fish looked even bigger than the previous two. Its scales reflected the sunlight like polished chrome. Its power was unbelievable. The battle began immediately. Minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the fish refused to surrender. Every time it surfaced to gulp air, we got another glimpse of its enormous size. Every time it jumped, our hearts jumped with it. Ben's arms were shaking now. His hands were red from gripping the rod. Sweat poured from his face and dripped onto the deck. Yet somehow he kept fighting. The fish kept fighting too. Neither side wanted to lose. By the 40-minute mark, exhaustion was setting in. By 50 minutes, it felt like we had been fighting all day. Then, a new problem appeared. The captain spotted a dark shape moving. Beneath the surface, a shark, then another, and another. Suddenly, the battle became far more dangerous. The sharks knew exactly what was happening. They wanted an easy meal, and our tarpon was the target. The captain immediately maneuvered the boat, creating huge clouds of white foam to scare the sharks away. Every time they approached, our hearts pounded harder. One bite was all it would take to end the fight. The tarpon surged away. The sharks followed. The boat followed. For several terrifying minutes, it felt like chaos. Yet somehow we kept the fish alive. The sharks made multiple attacks, but each time they were driven away. Still, the battle continued. An hour passed, then even more time. Had never witnessed anything like it. Ben was completely exhausted. His shirt was soaked. His face was bright red from the sun. His arms trembled every time he lifted the rod. But somehow he kept going. He knew this fish was special. The fish itself seemed unstoppable. Again and again it made powerful runs. Again and again it returned. Neither side would quit. Finally, after one of the longest and hardest fights of our lives, the giant tarpon surfaced beside the boat. This was the moment. Everyone moved into position. The guide leaned over the side. 1 second passed, then another. The fish rolled. The guide reached farther, then suddenly he grabbed it. Got it! The entire boat erupted with cheers. After all the heartbreak, after all the lost fish, after all the frustration and exhaustion, we had finally done it. The giant silver king was ours. For a few moments, nobody cared about the heat. Nobody cared about the fatigue. We were simply overwhelmed with relief and excitement. The captain quickly measured the fish while we stared in. Disbelief. The calculations came back 158 pounds. A true giant, a personal record, the biggest tarpon we had ever landed. At that moment, every failure from earlier in the day disappeared. Every lost fish had led us to this one. Every setback had made this victory even sweeter. Standing there under the blazing Florida sun, looking at the massive silver king resting beside the boat, we knew we had experienced something truly unforgettable. A fish of a lifetime, a battle we would never forget. Moments later, we carefully released the giant tarpon back into the ocean. For a brief second, it remained beside the boat as if gathering its strength. Then with one powerful sweep of its tail, it disappeared into the deep blue water, gone forever. But the memory of that incredible fight would stay with us for the rest of our lives.